As one last surprise, Nintendo announced a remake for Kirby's Return to Dreamland out of nothing in the course of the September Direct and gives a lot of beginners the chance to experience one of the most beloved Kirby games in the series. Naturally, some new features will find their way into the game, and thanks to an updated visual style, new copy abilities and some additional mini-games, it seems like the Deluxe version is going to deliver on more than one level. At the same time, however, players ask themselves if there still might be more to this resurrected journey to the past, as we still have to wait nearly half a year. Is Nintendo really going to stay quiet for this period of time or advertise features which already existed in the base game? Naturally, we don't know, but little secrets and hints in the reveal trailer lead us to believe there might be some hidden surprises we have yet to find out about. Extra copy abilities and even more minigames are kinda obvious, but one of the most interesting details you might have missed is the newly added Magolor castle in the background of the title screen. Currently, we can only speculate what this could mean, as it appears to be a rather major addition in terms of the presentation. If we are going to temper our expectations, one of the most obvious assumptions would be a place to gather all the new sub-games, or offer a copy ability arena to try them out. Wouldn't that be a little uneventful though? Are they really designing this whole castle just as a place for some mini-games and copy abilities? Probably not. Our next logical thought process would be the extra missions from Kirby's Dream Collection. In this game, Magolor even built a whole theme park, making the castle way more believable, so this is probably the most safe bet to go for. Needless to say, it could still be a whole new world or something like that, but this would take the whole direction of the remake into something that sounds way too ambitious for what they want to create. If there only would be a way to add a new mode that adds a substantial experience to the whole package, while only requiring the least amount of work. As you have probably already guessed, I'm clearly talking about Magolor himself, the star in a possible new Magolor campaign. Think about it for a moment. Magolor is one of the most popular side characters in the whole franchise and frequently comes up in spin-offs like Super Kirby Clash or Fighters 2. In fact, he's even one of the few playable characters in Fighters 2 that isn't Kirby, and it only proves his popular position in the franchise. So, if they're really going to take the opportunity and remake this specific title where the alien debuted, wouldn't it be a waste to let go of such a chance? Naturally, we can only theorize how such a new mode could look like. As I stated, the resources required wouldn't be too high considering how they already have an existing, finished and playable Magolor build in Star Allies or Fighters 2. The only thing to adjust would be to put some outlines on his model, which I assume is not the end of the world. But wait, didn't I just say extra level or a whole new world is too much for a remake like that, since a whole new adventure indicates such implementations? Well, it depends on how the developers approach this idea. When I'm talking about a brand new campaign solely for Magolor, I'm not referring to a fully blown additional adventure. It doesn't even need a specific story or could tackle things similarly to Kirby Star Allies and the guest star mode. Here all the Dream Friends go on an adventure on their own, and by simply reading the pause-screen descriptions you get an idea why these frenemies are setting out. The very same concept could be done with Magolor in Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Instead of building unseen level, which once again would be ideal, the creators could simply rearrange the existing ones and cut out gradual sections like the Ultra abilities. If they really want to make this adventure unique, it could be realized from Magolor's perspective before he arrived in Dreamland, basically creating a whole short journey through Halkandra, which would give the lava world a chance to expand on its premise instead of simply offering 3 level. Landia could be the final boss, or what about another shooting section but you play as the Lost Star Cutter and Assault the Dragon. Furthermore, bosses can get an even stronger upgrade, much like every major enemy in Star Allies Heroes from Another Dimension mode, which would make the Magolor run fairly challenging regarding how powerful he is. Or what about a hellishly long Other Dimension section, where you have to run from the purple wall nearly endlessly, while the dangerous matter is becoming faster. There are endless possibilities to make such a mode interesting, with already existing features in the game, which is why they could also add an extra true arena to the mix. Considering how I just mentioned improved bosses, this arena would be the ultimate challenge, where you could face off these brutal opponents also with Kirby this time. Self-evidently, such a spectacle spectacle of a boss run also needs a secret climax, and what could be a better final encounter than the red butterfly itself, Morphonite. If you take a look at Forgotten Land, it's pretty obvious the developers are huge fans of this Crimson Knight themselves, and I could imagine there's no way for them to leave out any opportunities to implement him once again. Moreover, it would fit into my idea of making the most out of stuff which is already implemented in the game, like Galacta Knight. Reuse his model and adjust the moveset a little, and I suppose we have a solid Morphonite fight. Or go the more lazy path and simply copy and paste the battle from Star Allies with minor changes. There's so much that can be done with any greater requirements, which is probably also the essential foundation every remake / remaster is trying to build from. Even if all of this is just a fanboy fantasy, at least they can bring in a playable Magolor as one final gift after beating the hard mode. I don't think it's a good idea to transform Return to Dreamland Deluxe into a second Star Allies with multiple characters, but Magolor is so obvious it would be wasted potential to let this chance fly away. As you can see, there are countless of wild ideas regarding this topic, but it's also very important to emphasize that we should keep our expectations in check. Yes, the concepts I presented in this video seems to be rather simplistic to implement, thanks to already existing features in the game, but this doesn't mean they are a given. Maybe the reveal trailer already showed everything new or will only implement more sub-games, which would be fine. The mere thought of including the Dream Collection, for instance, would make this game more than deluxe, and everything else is just a cherry on top. Nonetheless, speculating is fun, and we should not hinder ourselves to do so. So what do you think about this ominous Magolor castle? Are there more ideas I haven't even mentioned? And what bonus stuff would you want to see from this remake? Whatever it may be, there's now a whole new generation of children which will certainly learn how it feels to be stabbed in the back.